So we're gonna go into our full gear predictions. So there are a good amount of matches on this card, and we're gonna start from the bottom of the card, you know, to the top. So we're gonna start with Darby Allin and Sting versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Who do you got for this match?
I love Darby Allin, and I also love these corny montages that they had for him. Honestly, they're so like
Mm-hmm.
emo, so dramatic. I'm a big Darby Allin fan. I want more for Darby Allin, so that's my pick, Darby and Sting.
I think we're gonna go Darby and Sting as well on this side. I think that obviously with the series of attacks that have been happening, plus the lack of appearances from Sting, it just leads me to believe that they're doing all of this to kind of put Darby over. I think also that Darby's gonna get the pinfall win. Um, I also just think that it's very, very interesting that 3 out of the 4 people in this match are TNA alumni. Sting, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal both were in TNA. But yeah, I think Darby and Sting I think Darby and Sting are gonna win this little tag match. So going from there, we have Saraya and Britt versus Britt Baker. Now, before we actually get into this, there was a little tweet that Saraya actually posted, and I'm gonna read it. It literally came in as we were doing the show, and I was like, oh man, I gotta bookmark this. She says, "Man, 2 more days till I get to wrestle again. One of the biggest matches of my career after a 5-year hiatus. I'm loving every moment of being in AEW, and I feel so lucky to get to go out there and compete. Side note, F Britt Baker." So, with that being said, who do you have, Saraya or Britt Baker?
I feel like it makes the most sense if Paige goes over, um, because Britt doesn't really have much to prove. Like, she's been
Mm,
so over in this company. She's still booked like a star even without a belt. I mean, hell, she's been handed an opportunity to work with someone that AEW is trying to book like a legend almost.
mm-hmm.
This match is not about really Britt. It definitely made for great promos. It was a great person to start off Paige, but this is something where it's supposed to be Britt still earns from this match because she could win or lose and no one could be mad at her because it's Paige. We haven't seen Paige in a while. We know that Paige was a solid wrestler the last time we seen her wrestle, but we don't know what to expect from her. Um,
Right.
no one knows what to expect from her. Um, and Britt's not known to be a fantastic wrestler or anything. She could lose this match and be fine, be safe, could move on to work with anyone. It matters more if Paige were to lose because we haven't seen you, and all this talking gibberish won't mean a damn thing if you don't win your first match. To continue the momentum, she doesn't have to keep winning every single
Very true.
match after this, but she needs to win her first match. It is crucial.
Mm-hmm.
You can't set up a babyface promo like that, chewing out Britt last week about all the places you wrestled in, how you sacrificed yourself, you got hit with a motherfucking car, you know, and still wrestled. You cannot have that much heart. Then show the whole world your doctor letter, all right, saying that you could wrestle with no restrictions, no none of that, and then just lose. Because then, like, hun, what do you do after that? If I were to lose my first match after talking all that smack, I'm taking my ass back home. Like, I'm going back on Twitch. Like,
I'm going back on
this
Twitch.
ain't for me. So Paige it
I'm
is.
weak.
Saraya. My bad. Go ahead.
I got Saraya as well, just because all of this feels like a it feels like a
Comeback
triumphant
story.
comeback. This is and I feel like sometimes it's this is you shouldn't try to throw little wrenches into the story for the sake of trying to make people mad. It's just I feel like Saraya's gonna win. I think it's just as simple as that. I think Saraya's gonna win. I think that Britt doesn't have my own actually I have my own little theory about it, but I'm gonna wait until the end. But I don't think that Britt becomes any weaker by losing. I also feel like it's going to feed into Britt's character development for what I feel like is going to happen later in the show. All in all, um, I think that Saray is going to take the W on this one. So the next match is Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus in a steel cage match. Who do you got?
I'm more of a bigger fan than Luchasaurus than I am Jungle Boy. That is my bias. Um,
Mm.
but but Jungle Boy is like a breakout star in his own right. Everyone loves him. He's so over. Um, there's more you could do with Jungle Boy moving forward if he won out of this than Luchasaurus, and I think it's just a better story that the person that was kind of like, not that Jungle Boy was necessarily right under Luchasaurus, but you look at the faction that you originally had, and Luchasaurus just reasonably looks like the leader of the pack. I think it's better for storytelling when the person that was, I guess, subpar to you goes over to kind of
Mm.
prove themselves. And it's something that if you want to continue this feud, you can continue this feud. But I think that it'd be fun if Jungle Boy won. What happened? Oh
I
shit!
agree with I agree with you on that. Um, as far as who I think is gonna win, I think that based on the history that Luchasaurus, Christian Cage, and Jungle Boy have had over these past, I would say 3 to 6 months, Jungle Boy has been taking a lot of L's. And whether it's like a pre-match attack or things that happen outside the match, I think that the losing in this particular storyline has built Jungle Boy's character, and the predicament of it being in a steel cage match allows Jungle Boy to be able to win the match without having to pin Luchasaurus in order to win. So Luchasaurus can still look strong. So I think I'm gonna go with Jungle Boy on this one. I think that we're seeing this storyline has kind of cultivated Jungle Boy into a breakout star in the company. I think that he's gotten way better on the mic ever since he started this feud. So I think I'm gonna go with Jungle Boy uh in this particular match. Now the next match I think is going to be a banger, and I think is going to be the match of the night. The AEW TNT Championship match is going to be Wardlow versus Powerhouse Hobbs versus Samoa Joe. Who do you have in this three-way match?
I want to go with Wardlow. I feel like
Mm,
Hobbs is just there. I love me some Joe, but I don't think they're gonna work with Joe for this one. I feel like
mm.
I feel like Wardlow has been overdue for feeling like super duper important as he should have been a while ago because of all like the drama. I feel like this is a perfect way to put him over, give him the belt, give him more screen time. I love me some Samoa Joe. Don't get me wrong, man. Like I fucking love him, but I feel like Wardlow could use this. It would just work. It would feel right. It'd be a moment where like the crowd just kind of rejoices because it's just like yes, like Wardlow's getting what he deserves. So I'm gonna go with Wardlow.
I disagree only because he's already the champ. He's already the champ. He's already had the belt. So I think that in this case, um, Powerhouse Hobbs, I think, is due for a win. I think that Powerhouse Hobbs is the next breakout star that AEW has to offer. I think that there are so many ways that Hobbs can win this match while Warlord remains strong or looking strong. So I think I'm going to go with Powerhouse Hobbs to win the TNT Championship. And speaking of TV, the next championship is the AEW TBS Championship, where it's going to be Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose. Who do you got?
First of all, I love this feud. Nyla Rose is so fucking hilarious, both on screen and on Twitter. She is a treat. Like God, she's so funny, and this is actually one of the like first few times I actually cared for a Jay Cargill feud. Not because Jay Cargill sucks. It's just that I feel like they suck at like making me care during like the actual feuds because you need someone to match someone else's energy for the mic. I feel like this is actually going to be a very good match. I actually wouldn't mind if Nyla Rose won, but I feel like they're gonna still continue this reign with Jade. I feel like Jade is just
Mm,
gonna continue to hold this belt until they debut the right female to take it off. And it could possibly go down the line where Paige might even take this belt.
I agree.
But so that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Jade, and I think that the only person that's gonna dethrone her that no one's gonna complain about is Paige.
I agree with that. I think that Nyla Rose, like you said, is extremely entertaining and riveting. I think that this whole feud has been probably Jade's most interesting and entertaining feud for the title, and because of that, I think that Jade is going to win. The undefeated streak is going to continue, but I think that Jade is going to take this one. But this has been very entertaining to say the least. Um, but moving on to the AEW Trios Tag Team Championship match, where we have Death Triangle versus the return of the Elite. It's gonna be great. But I wanted to know, who do you have, Death Triangle or the Elite?
So biased because I want the elite. I actually really miss them. I think everyone misses them. This would be such a fun way to have them come back. Just have them come back and just have them win. Because I want to hear more from them. Everyone is waiting to hear more from them. So I want to see the elite. Sorry for my congestion. The elite.
You're totally
Final answer.
fine. Also, I agree with you. I think that the Elite are going to win the titles. I think, like you said, everybody misses them. I think that this is another triumphant kind of return story, especially in light of everything that happened at the media scrum. Um, and they were the first, trios tag team, first trios team to ever win those titles. And I think it's just appropriate for them to pick back up from where they left off. So I'm going with the Elite. The next match is a four-way match for the Ring of Honor World Championship between Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, Sammy Guevara, and Claudio Castagnoli. Who do you have?
Ooh. Well, first of all, on paper, this is a great match. I know they had an opener yesterday that slapped. Ugh.
Mhm.
Chris Jericho doesn't really need it. I would I would really punt the TV if Sammy won. Um, they have been building Claudio up very well, but I still want to go with Daniel. I feel
Mm.
like Daniel keeps getting ripped off. I'm gonna go with Daniel. He deserves it. He could make a lot of very good use of this. Please tell me you agree, 'cause I'll be very upset.
I do agree. I do agree that Danielson is going to win. I think that it's going to be interesting because it doesn't specify if it's going to be a fatal four-way elimination match. It just says if it's going to be a fatal four-way match, and then it will be very interesting to see Danielson pin Sammy. And now there's tension between Sammy and Jericho because Sammy cost the Jericho Appreciation Society of Jericho retaining his gold. So I think that Danielson is going to win this, and I think that that's going to be the way that the Blackpool Combat Club still has some championship goal, based on my prediction on the end of the show. Now the next match is the interim. I don't know why interim is still on this. The interim AEW Women's World Championship with Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter. Who do you have?
Eh, I can't see Jamie having it. I don't know why. I just can't. Not that I don't like her. I actually like her a lot. I just eh, it just feels like a feud that is meant to make Tony Storm feel more legit. Like they try to go the personal route. I'm not really mad at it, but it'll be like I guess the first feud that means something for Tony Storm.
Mm.
So that's just what the setup is, and that I feel like is supposed to go in Tony Storm's ballpark until we circle back to Rosa. What do you think?
I got Jamie. I got Jamie winning this match,
Porque
and
I
the
need to
reason,
know.
and what'd you say?
No, I said I need to know. I need to know.
So I think that Tony has had a really good run. She's had pretty good defenses. Um, I think that Jamie is white hot right now. She's over with the AEW crowd. I think that even though Jamie and Britt kind of have resolved their little issues, that there's still some underlying tension. There's still some things that uh Britt is doing that Jamie isn't doing. Like, I remember there was a couple weeks ago on TV where she did the little DMD hand motion thing. Rebel did it with her, but Jamie didn't. And I was like, that's a very,
Mm.
very interesting touch. So I think that one of the reasons why I was saying the whole thing about Britt, I think that Jamie's going to win the gold. Britt's going to lose her match. That's going to cause Britt to be jealous of Jamie, and then it's going to cause Jamie and Britt to feud. And
Ooh,
that's
long
gonna she's
term
gonna beat
booking. I
Tony for
love
the
that.
title, and then she's gonna move on to Britt as her first title defense off the muscle of Britt making this personal or turning on Jamie because Jamie won her match and da 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 whatever. I just think that Jamie. I feel like if Jamie Hayter wins this title, it gives AEW more creative flexibility over like what they can do with Jamie, because I think it'd be legitimately interesting if Jamie Hayter wins and she's white hot. I feel like this is the time to strike the iron. She's hot. Give her the belt while she's hot. So, but moving on from that, we have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match with the Acclaimed versus Swerve and Our Glory. Who do you have?
I want to say the Acclaim, but it could really go either way because they've been like putting a lot of effort into this feud between motherfucking Max Caster calling Keith Lee Cleveland Jr.
Cleveland Jr.
yesterday. Yes. But also I like how they've been legitimizing the fuck out of Swerve with like, even having someone like Rick Ross showing
Yeah.
up and saying that he's gonna be like the largest recording artist and whatever. Like I like how both sides they're like legitimizing them. Like they claimed it's very much over, very, very, very much over. Um, but I like how just I feel like you could tell that they're gonna win, but I like how they still, despite the fact that I feel like Swerve and Our Glory is going to lose, that they're still making them sound like, you know, that they're top notch, that they're not to be messed
Mm.
with, that yeah, they lost, but like, these guys are the future somehow. I like how that's constantly being referenced, that these guys are stars still. So I feel like they could afford to still lose again, and I feel like it just wouldn't make sense with how like again like the money that's being drawn right now with the acclaimed, you know? And like the effort that's
Yeah.
being placed in with the acclaim, I just think that it would just be like silly at this point. Unless there's like a fuck finish, I
Yeah.
don't see why it would make sense to make them lose. Like that's not what I'm doing if I'm Tony Khan. So, acclaim.
I got the Acclaimed as well. I feel like there are multiple things at play here because we're starting to see Swerve become his own person, setting apart from Keith Lee. Whereas I feel like where we see like the Acclaimed as a team, I feel like we're starting to see the separation between Swerve and Keith, between Rick Ross showing up, between Swerve doing that thing where he had Billy Gunn hostage. We're starting to see like the moral separation between Keith Lee and Swerve, and I feel like if the Acclaim win and when the Acclaim win, we're gonna see Swerve go full on heel, and I feel like the first feud is going to be against Keith Lee. I just think that Swerve is going to turn on him because we've already seen many instances that separate Keith and Swerve, and so it's just like if they lose, it's like why do they need to be together? So I think that we're going to see Swerve and we're going to see Swerve and Our Glory lose, but we're also going to see Swerve turn heel on Keith Lee. Now, the next match is the AEW Championship Eliminator Tournament Finals, where it's going to be Ethan Page versus Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, or Lance Archer. I think that it's going to eventually be Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks. But I wanted to know, who do you have in this match?
Ricky.
Mm,
Ricky. I'm biased, so at all times I'm gonna choose Ricky. 'Cause I just feel like he's just that guy, and they're working on him. They're brewing up something with him. I just feel like
mm,
Lance Archer is a non-factor to me. Brian Cage is he's not bad by any means. It's just that they're not gonna do anything with him. But Ricky Starks, he's
right.
that guy. He's the person that she should have been working on all this time. Give it to Ricky.
I got Ricky Starks as well. Just what we've seen over the past couple months with his character development and his fire. Um, I think we're gonna get Ricky Starks winning that tournament finals. Um, and I think that we're gonna see Ricky Starks versus the winner of the next match. And I think it's gonna be a phenomenal feud because of what they're gonna do to each other on the mic. So speaking of the next match is, and the final match is for the AEW World Championship, John Moxley versus MJF. I think we both kind of already talked about that, but who do you have?
I feel like it has to go in MJS ballpark unless they plan on revisiting this feud. But there's more to gain out of here in this entire pay per view because this is the money match that everyone is paying that $50-$60 for. I don't know. I stream my shit,
Mm-hmm.
child, but other people are paying for Fight
Right.
TV. I'm a dick. Let me stop. People are paying their hard earned money and going out to New Jersey for this moment. We're all here in favor of MJF. This, I feel like, is very strategic. It's not like you said in his hometown, Long Island, but it's more or less adjacent to it. You're gonna piss off a lot of people, Tony, if MJF doesn't win.
MJF doesn't
You're gonna
win,
piss off
right?
a lot, considering how you ended um the last pay-per-view that she had, all the bull crap that happened in between, and then getting to this one, it would be criminal if MJF didn't win. But
Mm,
if he didn't, you they have to make it up next pay-per-view, but I just feel like that long behind wait, I feel like everyone's been waiting long enough to see MJF hold some type of gold. He came out when this company started, with guns blazing and everything, white hot with his heel stick. He didn't get the belt with Jericho. Yeah, he got the ring, but all in between that, he was involved in everyone's freaking feud, but he
mm-hmm.
couldn't seem to get anything to show for it. And I think that we
Mm,
as fans, after 3 years now watching of AEW, we're tired, and we're tired of waiting. We want to see this man draped in gold, and it would make sense considering he's doing movies and stuff like that. Shouldn't you want to treat him like a star?
exactly.
I'm just saying, it would make the most sense. He's basically gonna be the face of your company. He should be the face of your
Mm,
company. He's representing a Von Erich freaking movie. That's huge. That's big.
it's
He is
huge.
going
Yeah.
to be your face for pro wrestling. If he doesn't win, Tony Khan, we are gonna have a way of words. I might get suspended again. Okay, I just may after some words with
We can't.
you.
We cannot have you suspended, Mo. Not again. Um, as far as my prediction, I got MJF easily. Um, you're in the tri-state area. This has kind of been brewing for a very, very long time. I don't know where he would go from here if he were to lose, which is the reason why I think he's going to win. He is the guy that's going to be the face of your company for years to come. Grant, hopefully, he signs a nice, healthy extension with the company. But I legitimately believe that MJF is going to win on Saturday night. And it's gonna be one of the most wild nights in pro wrestling. And I was talking about with the last match, man, Ricky Starks versus MJF is gonna slap, bro. MJF versus Ricky is gonna
Ooh-wee.
slap. Them promo battles are gonna be crazy. But I think that concludes our full gear predictions. So we wanted y'all to know, we want to hear y'all. Jesus, my words. We want to hear y'all and y'all opinions on full gear and what you guys think is going to happen. Once again, be sure to join us in our 316 space live right during full gear. We're going to be all watching it together, so be sure to pop out, pop in, and we look forward to seeing you guys there.